just like what the previous speaker has disclaimed, not an expert here, just a messenger. But basically, I'm going to talk about AI in security and what we know as the assistants that we somewhat talk to daily. They are not just cute, assistants. They are way beyond that. And I'm going to discuss with you, first and foremost, the market trends of generative AI, to be specific. And in terms of cybersecurity, what are the applications of generative AI, and how do we expect that to impact our everyday life, the way we work, the way we run our businesses, and for some parents here, maybe the way you raise your children. um, uh, and the last part of my presentation, I'm going to strike a balance, actually. I'm going to share with you a brief experiment that we've done. It's the sinister side of AI, where we kind of delved into the possibilities or the extent up to which this generative AI can actually be used to orchestrate a large scam campaign. So let's get into it. All right. First, breaking down the artificial intelligence, I believe that most of us here already know AI, but my presentation will actually cover mostly on the generative AI. So defining that, we actually have this two, or a tale of two AIs. It's the traditional AI, and now the most popular one is the generative AI. But basically, generative AI was built on these traditional AIs, including machine learning, deep learning, or natural language processing frameworks. And as the name implies, generative AI actually learn from a subset or a data set of presentation of artifacts and generate a brand new artifact that is preserving the likeness to the, or the, it is close to the original data that it is fed with. So to give you an idea how explosive this technology is, actually IDC has a report of the trend in generative AI market, which in the last year, in 2023, has reached up to 20 billion USD. And they are expecting that by 2027, this Gen AI market would actually increase up to 150 billion US dollar. So that's kind of explosive, that's kind of popular. And it actually started when ChatGPT was introduced in the internet in the late 2022. Just a curious question. What was the last thing you asked ChatGPT to do for you? So I kind of, before my presentation, I checked my ChatGPT and looked for what was the last question I asked ChatGPT. So that was the time when I was creating an outline for a presentation, not cybersecurity related. But I'm asking ChatGPT, can you give me more verbs that starts with letter D? Because I want everything on my outline to start with letter D. So things like that. So basically, generative AI is helpful for everyday tasks, for some things that we want to offload somehow from our thinking. Now I'm going to give you the trends in the generative AI market. Luckily for us, in cybersecurity, the potential of Gen AI is actually huge, to the extent that Gartner listed Gen AI as one of the top trends in 2024 in terms of cybersecurity. And to quote Gartner here, generative AI will durably disrupt cybersecurity in positive ways, but also create many short-term disillusions, which we're going to talk about later as well. So, the market definition specifically for generative AI in cybersecurity is quite, has a key difference, wherein the models that we're going to use or that we are using in cybersecurity is trained for data or cybersecurity data, and we are expecting these frameworks or this system to function or to somewhat assist us with some cybersecurity functions. So generative cybersecurity AI can actually be delivered according to Gartner as a public or privately hosted cloud service or embedded with security management interfaces. How does the early adoption of generative AI in cybersecurity look like? Maybe you have heard about chatbots. Okay, so in early adoption, chatbots were formed. These were proven effective and also helpful, especially when we were in the pandemic. So chatbots were formed to assist users, even our IT teams, to actually give a way for remote workers, no, to communicate easily, to input natural language, a language that they can understand, and get an output that they can also consume. So it's been useful, and now it has been it's being used for more use cases nowadays in cybersecurity, particularly in technologies and security operations as well. Okay, so let's go further down the cybersecurity trends or Gen AI market trends in cybersecurity. Gen AI use cases in threat detection and incident response. We're going to focus on security operations here because this is where most of our solutions are benefiting from. Most of its use cases are focused on helping security analysts and even those that are not that skilled in doing threat detection and response. But the main goal of generative AI in security operations is to lower down the barrier and make security operations or democratize security operation, allowing access to less skilled staff or people that are not actually trained extensively about threat detection and response. This point is actually helpful because the cybersecurity shortage is a global problem, not only in the Philippines, but globally. We have how much unfilled seats last year? Based on the reports, it's about 4 million unfilled cybersecurity jobs last year. It is proven helpful because we want our teams to be assisted with something that can make their work faster, more efficient, and can even level up their skills or their natural abilities. But most of the use cases here, for example, the main goal is actually to automate or to use generative AI to do mundane tasks. For example, in triaging, we want to use an AI to filter out false positives or filter out low priority alerts in order for us to focus on the ones that really need our attention and the ones that really need a human skill. In investigation, we can actually use generative AI to curate alert details into an investigation ready cases. We can ask the AI to correlate what we're seeing nowadays to whatever it has seen previously and tell us what are these similarities, what are the things that stands out, and give us an idea of what to do next. In responding, we could also use generative AI to generate reports or generate a document for us or text for us that is well understood by certain type of people or certain audiences. So those kinds of use cases has proven that it is really good to pay attention to what generative AI can help us with, especially if it's helping our security operations to do their task easily and more efficiently. Now, this is another data from Gartner, which is quite interesting, because Gartner, to quote them again, by 2028, they said that the adoption of Gen AI will collapse the skill gap and removing the need for a specialized education from 50% of entry-level cybersecurity positions. As illustrated here, so what we would expect our cybersecurity talents to have is, we have a candidate, they should have an education, they should be trained for specialized skills like incident response or threat analysis or threat hunting, for example. That is the traditional approach. But what Gartner is proposing here is that with the assistance of generative AI, augmenting that technology to our day-to-day operations, we would expect that a candidate, as long as he or she knows or has an aptitude of how to use, interact with the machine, interact with the AI, basically, could actually decrease from 6 months, the time to productivity, down to 6 weeks. That is an appealing data. And what we want actually for our staff is to learn faster so that we can, they can function faster, so that our, investment on them could actually return to us faster as well. So maybe it is not a data that we can adapt so easily, because we still want our staff to be educated enough, to be trained enough. But you can consider this, because I'm not selling generative AI here, but it is a good proposition from Gartner, especially that we want that our staff be informed or be educated as faster as possible. Now, that is all well and good, but short-term disillusionment is also probable. So for example, the cost of investing in generative AI is quite high. The cost of augmenting our tools with an AI is also high. And the return of investment is not easily seen when it comes to this kind of investments. There would be some disenchantments when the expectation meets reality here, but Gartner is also expecting that a long time, when this matures and all the functionalities has been refined, it will be well accepted by different industry and vendors like us as well. So the prompt fatigue could also be a hurdle, because analysts could actually be challenged with the returns that they are getting, and in return, they needed to customize, they needed to understand what the AI is telling them, they needed to bring patience into the table and wait for the AI to learn what it is actually they are asking it to produce. Privacy, of course, and confidentiality of data is one of the top concerns as well. And the third-party dependencies is listed here. The quality, accuracy, false positive, hallucinations, because it only gives you the data out of the data it's been fed to. So we expect that false positives will be one of the problems here as well. The low maturity features is also one of the disillusionment, because basically generative AI is relatively new in the space of artificial intelligence. Now, let's switch our lenses a little bit here and look at the sinister side of AI. I'm going to share an experiment that we've done. We call this campaigns, short for scam campaigns. And it was made possible by generative AI. So with this experiment, actually, we've seen how free tools like GPT and other tools we saw in the internet can actually assist cyber criminals in creating large-scale scams. But why scams? What is the motivation behind? Basically, people love scamming other people. There's money involved. And if you are really a dedicated scammer, you can actually get thousands or 10,000 US dollars out of the less investment, just using AI tools in creating your campaigns. A test of skill. So I'm going to give you a short break from any information overload you might have been experiencing right now. But this is a test of skill. There are two websites here. And which do you think of the following is AI generated? So just look at the layout. So somewhat they are similar. The images, the quality of images, the text. Basically, the texts are good, no? No grammar, no grammar, what do you call this? No wrong, no ungrammatical error. So it is a test of skill, but actually, when it comes to scamming, it has switched into this test of trust. The answer, so sorry about that, is both of those websites are AI generated. So what these advanced technologies are implying to us is that when your scam or when your page or a certain UI is easy to spot as a scam or a phishing site, for example, we have a lower chance of getting victims. That's why scammers will use technology to better know their works, to improve the UI, to improve how they present their scams to people. And we are expecting that AI or generative AI would be one of the largest technology that they will use in doing that. So what we did is actually we went to create a scam site using GPT-4 here. So GPT-4 is our co-scammer. And using this tool, there are actually just 3 steps. We selected a template, we designed what we want the website to look like. We customize things around. We decide what products we're going to sell. And we came up with a scam page that has a working login page and also a working checkout page. So basically, all of this is a clueless endeavor. And we've decided that we are not going to do any coding skills at first and just let GPT-4 give us the codes for this website. So what happened? We're able to generate this objects here, the login page using Facebook, and this store showing the profile of the owner, the description of the store, and the products that we are selling. Now, this is an example of the prompt that we've done. And it is going to tell you that GPT actually is not enough in doing this. So our assumption of not using any coding skills here has been debunked. We actually need somewhat a basic web developing skills, because when we prompt GPT to give us a login page of Facebook, this is the actual prompt, we needed some of this basic knowledge of frameworks, basic knowledge of web programming, for it to come up with a good and working login page. But basically, what I'm saying here is that there is no need for extensive coding skills. So generative AI would make it easier for scammers to come up with a page that actually works and that can actually scam people. So let's rate our co-scammer here. The no need for coding skills. At least we need to have a basic web developing knowledge. The authenticity of the design for phishing, it could actually appear at first as a very basic site, but with patience and customization, it could actually give you a good, convincing scam site. The images and audio for fake products are not actually present in GPT-4. Therefore, we looked for ways onto how to piece together all these objects that we have created using GPT-4. And now we have another tool, which we call the orchestration tool of this campaign, which is AutoGPT. So AutoGPT uses 5 data agents here. And number 1, data agent. Basically, this is a multimodal framework that has agents talking to its environment itself and contacting other generative AI models as well. So basically, when they talk to each other, they customize things and improve things as they know the actual outcome of it is not really convincing. So it's learning from each other. So data agent talks to GPT and created the product and the wordings that we need for the site. The image agent created the product images. Audio agent created the, or talks to WaveNet and created the audio testimonials of customers or fake customers. UI style agent talks to GPT again to improve the appearance of the page. And advertisement agent, which is interesting, it creates a social media post that is ready and can be posted to social media sites, lurking people and inviting people to click on your fake websites. Now, out of that experiment, we were able to create a working campaign website. This is Magnificent Bruce presenting to you. A fake website where basically appealing pictures, the profile of the owner is also related to the business. So it has that intelligence. The unique coffee mugs post, this is the social media post where it links the scam page. And another interesting test we've done, we've created a Jurassic Jamboree store. And as you can see, this one is funny because GPT-4 named the owner as Tom T-Rex, Thompson. So it's a funny one, but basically, uh, there's a lot of websites that, that I can actually show you. But the idea is if the scammer is motivated enough, only a few dollars as a, as a capital could actually give him or her a lot of profits. So if he's dedicated enough, he could create 100 scam sites. That's a total of $400. And then the time to create it is only about 13.4 hours. And we've checked the dark web about, the data that's been gathered from scamming, how much does a Facebook credential sell in the dark web. It's about $25 each. For a credit card information, it sells for about $5 to $200 in the dark web. So getting 100 people as a victim in these sites will actually give them tens of thousands as profit. So the consequences of AI crafted to deceive the human eye, we have the conclusions here. It basically lowers the barrier to entry and can empower even individuals or small groups with harmful intentions, even students that are trying to scam or are experimenting on scamming. Everyone is at risk because as the technology is advancing, even the more tech-savvy users can be a victim as well because, basically the appearance is convincing. And to counteract these threats, we at Sophos, we are developing our security co-pilot AI model, which is designed to identify sites that are AI generated and that are, scamming people or trying to deceive people with its appearance. So if you want to know more about the generative AI use policy guidelines, this one, we've created it. You can head on sophos.com or just scan the QR. We have a policy here that could be used by our customers and partners as well to identify who are the people that should actually be controlled with the use of generative AI and how can you secure your organizations against it. Thank you so much. That will be all for me.